Hey everybody, Dr. Bortolotti back. This time I'm going to talk to you about what's going on in week number 2. So I have changed my view to the student view. So this is what you should be seeing when you open up the course. Once again, my view is a little bit different, as you can see down here in the lower right hand corner. I can actually see your view instead of my view. Anyway, so for this week, we're going to start talking about the argument essay. And to start this thing, you have to do something called the literature review, which I will talk about in just 1 second. You also have to create your own discussion thread. The following students will create their discussion threads on the Two Truths and One Lie discussion that I started last week. Broyle, Davison, Ellers, Lukart, Mutila, Potts, and Swanson will start a discussion thread. Everybody, including these people, will respond to these questions, or the truths and the lie. And how you do this, it's this way. You come up here to discussions, you click on this, and then right here, you add a discussion. You can just leave all this blank. Don't put anything here. All right? You come in here, you hit discussion, and then type in, if you could please, your last name. I'm using Sarah's last name as an example. Okay, so now we know whose thread this is. Come down here and add your two truths and a lie that we have to guess. You don't need to do anything here, but you do have to click Allow Threaded Replies right here, and then make sure you make this available from June 6th, 8 o'clock a.m. to June 13th, 8 o'clock a.m., and then you'll save. Okay? Okay, and now I'm back home. I'm going to click on the modules for week 2. And as you can see, at the time that I was creating this video, the week 1 lessons was still available. But I want you to come down here and click Literature Review Example. And that'll open this thing up. Okay? Now, before we get going, there are several things I want to tell you. First of all, anytime I give you an example, in this case the example of the literature review, you use this example as your own file, just like you did with the MLA skills test, right? Remember, you open up my example, you saved it as your own, and then you just wrote your answers directly into my example. You do the same thing here. This example here is already formatted for you in Times New Roman 12, double space. It's everything you have as far as formatting is concerned. Just make sure you change your name here, and you change your name in the page headers here. Now, that being said, what is it that you're doing? Well, don't let this freak you out, right? Basically what this is this. A literature review is a very informal piece of writing in which you tell me about the sources that you plan to use for your argument essay. The argument essay is the first big assignment that we've got in this class. This class is only 8 weeks long, and so we've got to get to the argument essay as quickly as possible. If we were in a regular 16-week class, we would take our time. I would give you lots of warm-up exercises, but we don't have the time. So we're going to just jump right into this thing. Now, that being said, what is argument? Argument is a discussion of a serious topic from both sides of the question. You have to examine both sides of the question. If you have written a persuasive essay in the past, you just explored your side of a question, whether pro or con. An argument essay, you explore both the pro and the con sides. And here is an example. Make sure you phrase this question. To begin the literature review, I am looking for a yes or no question on your topic. Should school uniforms be the standard dress code in public schools throughout the United States? This is just an example. You can use any topic you want, okay, including the gun control or abortion issues, which have come back into popular discussion, including gay marriage, back in the popular discussion. There's all sorts of topics that you can explore, but you have to state your question is in form of a yes or no question. Should school uniforms be standard dress code? Yes or no. So that's going to be the first sentence of this first paragraph. Then take 2, 3, 4 sentences. Take 2, 3, 4 sentences after that. Just basically tell me why you chose this question, why you chose this topic. And then for the literature review, try to come up with at least 3 sources. 4 sources is okay, but at least 3 sources that you've found so far that you plan to use for your essay. Now, since you took 110, you should know where to go look for sources, including our ICC library page. And there is lots of sources available through that search there, including ebooks. Okay, so I don't think I have to show you how to look for a source, right? If you want some extra help on that, I'll be glad to supply it for you. One other thing I want you to do is also remember that I've got lots of reminder notes in the right-hand column. Now remember, this is just an example. This is just an example lit review. You could have all 4 of your sources from the internet. You can have all 4 of your sources from books. You can have all 4 of your sources from magazines or journals. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm not limiting you to what type of source you have to check, that you have to use. But in the example, I'm giving you different source types. This first one is a book. So after you get done with this short introduction, begin with your very first source and list the MLA documentation right there. Indent, and then very informally talk about this book and why you want to use it for your essay. And once again, I'm just using this to show you you can use a book. And if you do use a book, tell me it's a book. Okay, check these notes over here. And by the way, once you check these notes, before you send back to me your lit review, right-click on the comment balloon and delete the comment. Right-click on the comment balloon, delete the comment. Once you've read my notes and you're cool with it, right-click on the balloon and hit delete comments. Okay, make sure all those are gone for your final draft of this thing. Next source, next MLA documentation. This is an example of a journal article. There, Dr. Borlatti. My second source is a journal article. Here's why I like it. Notice these things are very, very short. And all you're doing when you're looking at the source is basically skimming it to see what's in the source. You don't have to go into a really detailed retelling of what's in the source. The next example is an article found through the Opposing Viewpoints library link, found in the ICC library page. This is great. This Opposing Viewpoints library link in our library page will come up with great pro and con sources for your argument essay. Or if you stumble across an anthology is a collection. They are books. You might, if you use, for example, eBook Central, you might stumble across an anthology, and you'll know it's an anthology because the title, the table of contents will list several, maybe 10, 15, 20 different articles, each one written by a different author. and it's a collection of different essays. And then in this example, it just shows you how to write up your MLA for an anthology. And once again, you briefly tell what the source is about. Then the conclusion paragraph, just simply tell me, once again, very informally, so I'm letting you use the word I, very informally, where are you now in this research that we're starting? Do you like your question? Do you like your topic? Do you hate your topic? Are you going to change your topic? What challenges that you see that lie ahead? Are you having a hard time finding cons? Are you having a hard time finding pros? Whatever the case may be. Now let me repeat this. An argument essay is an essay in which you are going to be looking at both sides of the issue. So let's take this as an example. If you're doing school uniforms, for example, should they be standard dress or should they not be standard dress? You've got to get sources on both sides of this question. Okay?